of Asian stock markets. WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas with me, Modi-Netanyahu. Let's get started. Our top focus tonight, US President Donald Trump, during the State of the Union address, has revealed that Iran is developing missiles that could soon strike the United States. The stakes are as high as they could be, with talks between the US and Iran to be held on Thursday. We're decoding all of this in just a bit. Also on the show for you tonight, Russia has unleashed what it calls a new battlefield dragon in the war against Ukraine. We tell you all that you need to know. A Pakistani judge with a fake law degree served in a high court there for 5 years. We tell you more about this shocker. All this and more coming up.
Develop missiles that can threaten Europe.
The United States and Iran are set to hold fresh talks in Geneva, talks that many experts fear could be the final attempt at diplomacy before confrontation replaces conversation. And the stakes are clearly high. According to Washington, they may even be existential. Here's why we are saying that. During his State of the Union address, US President Donald Trump revealing Iran is developing missiles that could soon strike America. Listen to this.
They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
And reacting to Trump's pressure tactics, Iran's parliament speaker has said the US could either try diplomacy or face Iran's wrath.
All options are on the table, both honorable diplomacy and a defensive response that will make the enemy regret its attack.
And according to the US Congressional Research Service, Iran possesses short and medium-range ballistic missiles capable of striking targets up to 3,000 kilometers away. The United States sits nearly 10,000 kilometers from Iran's westernmost territory, well beyond that range. Let's just break this down further. According to media reports, Iran's Shahab series possesses missile range of up to 10,000 kilometers. Still under testing, and new claims also putting that theory to test. Last month, Iranian media reports claimed Tehran tested its first intercontinental ballistic missile with a reported range of up to 10,000 kilometers. A report by Defense Security Asia citing Tasnim and Fars news agency reporting that the missile was launched towards the Sea of Siberia, reportedly with Russian approval for overflight. If accurate, that capability would theoretically place parts of the US East Coast within striking distance. And Tehran strongly denied Trump's allegations, by the way. Here's what was said. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson rejected the accusations in a post on X, dismissing claims surrounding Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs, claiming them to be, quote-unquote, repetition of big lies. And even as diplomacy looms, both sides continue to show their military strength. Early this week, Iran warned that any strike, even a limited one, would be treated as aggression. And Iranian state television has now broadcast footage of the Revolutionary Guard drills involving missile launches, drone operations, and coastal live fire exercises. Reports also claiming Iran is close to finalizing a missile deal with China to procure Beijing's CM-302 anti-ship cruise missile system. Washington has also assembled massive firepower in the region. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is deployed there. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, is also moving towards West Asia. And analysts at the Washington-based Center for Strategic and International Studies estimating that at least 16 US Navy ships are now in position, while over 150 American military aircraft have been reportedly repositioned towards bases in Europe and West Asia. The talks begin in Geneva on Thursday, but with missiles in development and warships at sea, diplomacy perhaps facing its most difficult test yet. Switching gears now, Russia has unleashed what it calls a new battlefield dragon. And Ukraine is feeling the heat as the war now has completed 4 years now. Moscow is not just holding ground, it is expanding it. On the other hand, Russia says 7 people have been killed in Ukrainian drone strikes. We are tracking the weapon, also the gains and the diplomacy that's only trying to catch up.
Russia deploys a terrifying new weapon in Ukraine, shattering defenses with unprecedented force. Front lines buckle as Moscow's gains increase. Explosions rip through the night. Ukrainian soldiers hunker in fortified trenches. Artillery pounds relentlessly. Drones circle overhead, hunting targets. The air thickens with tension. Something massive looms on the horizon. Russia unleashes the TOS-3 Dragon. This thermobaric rocket system, mounted on a T-80 chassis, fires from 25 kilometers away. Fuel-air explosives detonate in sequence. A massive fireball erupts at 3,000 degrees Celsius. The blast wave sucks oxygen from the air, collapsing lungs and pulverizing concrete bunkers. No shelter survives. Enemy positions vaporize in seconds. The 4th year of war marks a Russian rampage. Territorial gains here surpass the combined advances of the previous 2 years. Donetsk and Luhansk see relentless pushes. On the other hand, the Ukrainian forces continue to launch deep strikes inside Russian territory. A deadly drone strike targeted a fertilizer plant in Russia's western Smolensk region. As the fighting intensifies, Ukrainian diplomat will be meeting US envoy Steve Witkoff in Geneva on Thursday. This comes ahead of fresh trilateral talks with Russia expected in early March.
Pakistan is a strange country in a lot of ways. There is an elected government, but the opposition says it's a selected one. And now, even this government led by Shehbaz Sharif is not calling the shots. The reins of power continuing to be in the hands of Field Marshal Asim Munir. Now there is another unique situation. A judge is presiding over courts proceedings without any legal degree. Sounds absurd, I'm sure, but that's the reality in the country. Recently, when Justice Tariq Mahmood was sacked after serving for 5 years in the Islamabad High Court, it all started in 2024 with a right to information query cast doubts over the validity of his law degree. It emerged that he appeared for exams using 2 different enrollment numbers during his 3-year course. In September last year, a division bench of the Islamabad High Court restrained him from exercising his judicial powers after a writ petition was filed against his continuation in office. He was removed from his post by Pakistan's president in December 2025. And this came after the Islamabad High Court announced its verdict, declaring that his elevation as a judge was without lawful authority. And in its detailed 116-page judgment issued early this week itself, the High Court relied heavily on the records produced by the University of Karachi registrar, concluding basically that his academic degree was invalid. As per the verdict, he was debarred by the university for 3 years in 1989 after appearing for his LLB Part 1 exam under a fake enrollment number, reportedly. However, he flouted the ban and reappeared in the 1990 exams with a different enrollment number. Can you believe that? Most importantly, the court revealed that he never attended any law college. Never. Let's just take a look now at his background. Born in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province in 1965, he started his legal practice at the High Court level in the year 1994. And before being appointed as a judge of the Islamabad High Court in 2020, he held several important portfolios like the Deputy Attorney General and Advocate General of Islamabad. And his tenure has not been without controversy. For instance, he came into the spotlight after granting bail to former Prime Minister Imran Khan following the riots that gripped Pakistan on May 9, 2023. Not just that, he also heard the election petitions of runner-up candidates in the 2024 general election who belonged to PTI. He was also among the 6 judges who wrote a startling letter to the Chief Justice of Pakistan in March 2024, accusing the country's intelligence agencies of trying to intimidate the judges through abduction and torture of their relatives. And all of this, of course, raises some uncomfortable questions, to say the least. Why did it take over 3 decades to uncover the reality behind his degree? Did his letter exposing the role of Pakistan's military establishment prove to be the immediate trigger for the action against him? While the inside story of what really happened and about his removal may remain a mystery, this development is yet another reminder of the growing institutional decline in Pakistan. To run any military, as much as missiles and manpower, you need generals. That's obvious. You need a clear chain of command. You need decision makers who can act in seconds, not vacant chairs in war rooms. But then what happens when a superpower's army starts losing its own leaders, some of the biggest ones? That is what's happening within China's military establishment. It's a crisis. The Chinese president's sweeping anti-corruption purge that we have been telling you about, it has reportedly hollowed out the top brass of the People's Liberation Army. What was once a 7-member Supreme Military Command body under the Central Military Commission has effectively shrunk to just 2 key figures: Xi Jinping himself and a newly promoted vice chairman. A global defense think tank, the International Institute for Strategic Studies, in fact, warning that China's military command structure faces serious deficiencies. In its latest military assessment, the London-based institute saying the ongoing corruption investigations have disrupted leadership across theater commands, weapons procurement, research institutions, and the highest levels of the Central Military Commission. Cutting straight across now to the Indian Prime Minister addressing the Knesset.
His Excellency, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, His Excellency Mr. Amir Ohana, Speaker of the Knesset, His Excellency Mr. Yair Lapid, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Members of the Knesset, my dear sisters and brothers, Shalom. Namaste. Honorable members, it is a privilege and an honor for me to stand before this distinguished House. I do so as the Prime Minister of India and also as a representative of one ancient civilization addressing another. I bring with me the greetings of 1.4 billion Indians and a message of friendship, respect, and partnership. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your kind invitation and for your wonderful gesture of lighting up the Knesset in Indian colors. Your visit to India 3 years ago was the first by a Speaker of the Knesset, and thanks to you, I am the first Prime Minister of India to address this august gathering. Nine years ago, I had the good fortune to be the first Prime Minister of India to visit Israel. And I'm very happy to be here again, returning to a land to which I have always felt drawn. After all, I was born on the same day that India formally recognized Israel, September 17, 1950. Honorable members, I also carry with me the deepest condolences of the people of India for every life lost and for every family whose world was shattered in the barbaric terrorist attack by Hamas on October 7. We feel your pain. We share your grief. India stands with Israel firmly, with full conviction in this moment and beyond. No cause can justify the murder of civilians. Nothing can justify terrorism. India has also endured the pain of terrorism for a long time. We remember the 26/11 Mumbai attacks and the innocent lives lost, including Israeli citizens. Like you, we have consistent and uncompromising policy of zero tolerance for terrorism with no double standards. Terrorism aims to destabilize societies, to block development, and to erode trust. Countering terrorism requires sustained and coordinated global action because terror anywhere threatens peace everywhere. That is why India supports all efforts that contribute to durable peace and regional stability. Some years ago, when you concluded the Abraham Accords, we applauded your courage and vision. It was a moment of new hope for a long troubled region. Since then, the situation has changed significantly. The path is even more challenging. Yet, it is important to sustain that hope. The Gaza Peace Initiative that was endorsed by the UN Security Council offers a pathway. India has expressed its firm support for the initiative. We believe that it holds the promise of a just and durable peace for all the people of the region, including by addressing the Palestine issue. Let all our efforts be guided by wisdom, courage, and humanity. The road to peace is not always easy, but India joins you and the world for dialogue, peace, and stability in this region. Honorable members, in India, there is a great admiration for Israel's resolve, courage, and achievements. Long before we related to each other as modern states, we were linked by ties that go back more than 2,000 years. The book of Esther refers to India as Hodu. The Talmud records trade with India in ancient times. Jewish merchants traveled across sea routes that connected the Mediterranean with the Indian Ocean. They came seeking opportunity and dignity. And in India, they became one of us. Jewish communities have lived in India without fear of persecution or discrimination. They have preserved their faith and participated fully in society. That record is a source of pride for us. Honorable members, the Bene Israel of Maharashtra, the Kochini Jews of Kerala, the Baghdadi Jews of Kolkata and Mumbai, and the Bene Manasseh of the Northeast have enriched India. In my home state, Gujarat, there is a school set up by a Bene Israeli family, Mr. and Mrs. Best. It is an excellent school, and of course, it is called the Best School. Edwin Myers gave shape to the film's division of India and was a towering figure in the history of Indian cinema. Dr. Rubin David was the founder of the Kankaria Jew in Ahmedabad. The actor David Abraham Cheulkar, or Uncle David, become a household name across the country. Walter Kaufman composed the signature tune for All India Radio. David Sassoon built many institutions that still serve Indian society. And of course, the heroic contribution of Lieutenant General J.F.R. Jacob during the 1970 war with Pakistan is widely known. I had the honor of working closely with him after his retirement. We discussed India-Israel relations among many other things over many cups of tea. There have been countless others whose contributions are woven into India's rich fabric of life. Honorable members, there was a movement from India to Israel too, when many Indian Jews migrated to Israel in the mid-20th century. Today, a vibrant Indian origin Jewish community lives here. They are contributed to the building of modern Israel in laboratories and hospitals, in classrooms, and also on the battlefield. They hold firmly that Israel is their fatherland and India their motherland. We are proud of them. Honorable members, India's connection to this land is also written in blood and sacrifice. During the First World War, more than 4,000 Indian soldiers laid down their lives in this region. The cavalry charge at Haifa in September 1918 remains a significant chapter in military history. Major Thakur Dalpat Singh, remembered as the hero of Haifa, symbolized the shared history. During my last visit, I was deeply moved to pay my respect at the Haifa Memorial for Indian soldiers. Honorable members, last month, the world marked the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Holocaust stands as one of humanity's darkest chapters. Yet, even in those turbulent years, some acts of humanity stood out. The Maharaja of Navanagar in Gujarat, also known as the Jam Sahib, offered refuge to Polish children, including Jewish children who had nowhere else to turn. I am told that a statue of Jam Sahib was unveiled in Moshav Nevatim recently. Thank you. Thank you for this honor and remembrance. Honorable members, after India's independence, many Indian leaders felt a kinship with the people of Israel. India's parliamentary debates of the 1950s are witness to their admiration for Israel's effort to develop agriculture in the desert. The kibbutz movement of Israel inspired our leaders like Acharya Vinoba Bhave and Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan. First in my home state, Gujarat, and now across India, I've seen the approach of per drop, more crop work wonders in agriculture. My own first visit to Israel was in 2006 as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Later in 2017, during my visit to Israel as Prime Minister, our two countries elevated the relationship to a strategic partnership. Since then, our engagement has expanded in scale and scope, and we are committed to further consolidate this relationship across many sectors. Honorable members, for the last few years, India has been the fastest growing major economy in the world. Soon, we will be among the top 3 economies globally. At the same time, Israel is a powerhouse of innovation and technological leadership. This creates a natural foundation for our forward-looking partnership. We are committed to expanding trade, strengthening investment flows, and promoting joint infrastructure development. The bilateral investment treaty signed last year will provide confidence and predictability to our businesses. In the last few years, India has concluded a number of important trade agreements with other nations. To your west, the European Union and the UK. To your east, the UAE and Oman. Our bilateral goods trade has grown significantly in recent years, but it does not reflect the full scope of opportunity. That is why our teams are working hard to negotiate an ambitious free trade agreement. It will unlock the vast untapped potential in our trade relationship. We will also work closely in different formats, such as India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, and the I2U2 framework between India, Israel, UAE, and the US. Defense and security is another important pillar of our partnership. In November last year, we signed an MOU on defense cooperation. In today's uncertain world, a strong defense partnership between trusted partners like India and Israel is of vital importance. Honorable members, Israel is often called the startup nation. In recent years, we have also been working to unlock the innovation and creativity of our youth. I recall that in 2018, Prime Minister Netanyahu and I inaugurated the I Create Technology Business Incubator in India. Since then, it has supported nearly 900 such startups. Last week, we hosted the world's largest and the most democratized AI Impact Summit with representatives from over 100 countries. Our aspirational spirit aligns naturally with Israel's innovation ecosystem. I see a lot of synergies in areas such as quantum technologies, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence. We are also working with Israel on creating cross-border financial linkages using our digital public infrastructure. Honorable members, I mentioned how inspiring we found Israel's agricultural miracle in desert. Israeli expertise in precision irrigation and water management has already transformed agricultural practices in India. Together, we have established 43 centers of excellence across India that have provided training to more than 500,000 farmers. We should now set an ambitious goal to expanding to 100 centers to benefit millions of farmers and fishermen. Honorable members, at the heart of the India-Israel partnership are the ties between our peoples. When I first visited Israel in 2006, there were a handful of yoga centers in Israel. Today, yoga seems to be practiced in almost every neighborhood. I am told that interest in Ayurveda is also growing in Israel. I invite more and more young Israelis to travel to India. They will witness the dynamism of our society and experience what holistic wellness can do for the body and the mind. I'm happy to inform this August House that the Indian Parliament has set up a parliamentary friendship group for Israel. I invite you all to visit India and look forward to having more exchanges between our members of parliament. I am aware that Indian caregivers and skilled workers in Israel contribute immensely to families and communities. They have displayed remarkable courage and dedication in times of crisis, including on October 7. We are proud of them. As the Jewish teachings reminds us, whoever saves one life saves the entire world. Their service reflects the strength of the human bonds behind our cooperation. We will continue to facilitate the movement of workers and professionals across sectors that benefit both of our nations. Honorable members, we are both ancient civilizations, and it is perhaps no surprise that our civilizational traditions also reveal philosophical parallels. In Israel, the principle of Tikkun Olam speaks of healing the world. In India, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam affirms that the world is one family. Both ideas extend responsibility beyond immediate boundaries. They ask societies to act with compassion and moral courage. Judaism emphasizes halakha, guiding everyday conduct through law and practice. Hindu philosophy speaks of dharma, the moral order that shapes duty and right action. In both traditions, ethical life is lived through action and faith is expressed through conduct. There is an enduring similarity in our festivals as well. You celebrate Hanukkah with the warm glow of candles. Around the same time, we celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights, with the gentle radiance of lamps. Soon, India will celebrate the festival of Holi, filled with happiness and color. And around the same time, Israel will also celebrate Purim with enthusiasm and joy. Honorable members, our shared ideals are the deep foundations that give strength to our modern partnership. We are democracies shaped by history and focus on the future. Our partnership is grounded in shared experience and shared aspirations. Our strong partnership not only serves national interests, but also contributes to global stability and prosperity. Let us ensure that the friendship between India and Israel remains a source of strength in an uncertain world. Am Israel Chai. Jai Hind. Thank you.
All right, so Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the first Indian Prime Minister to address the Israeli Parliament, the Knesset. A number of crucial statements being made. In fact, India reiterating how it stands firmly with Israel. In fact, the Prime Minister starting off that address by condemning what he called the barbaric terrorist attack by Hamas in October 2023. Also talking about the strong people-to-people ties between the two sides. And round of applause continuing there on the floor of the Israeli parliament. Also stressing on the need for dialogue and talking about how terrorism is something that India feels the pain of and stands for all efforts to achieve durable peace and regional stability.
כבוד יושב ראש הכנסת וכבוד ראש ממשלת הודו.
All right, we will continue to get to the latest coming in on that front. But first, we're taking a very short breather at this point. We'll be right back.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
And welcome back. Thanks very much for staying on with us. You're watching Gravitas. Tensions once again rippling across the South China Sea as China escalates its military maneuvers. Japan, in fact, announcing plans to deploy medium-range surface-to-air missiles on an island very close to Taiwan. Tokyo's rare military move also coming amid the strained ties with China and the rising regional security concerns.
A new theatre of conflict is simmering. China is becoming aggressive and the neighbours are feeling jittery. From the Philippines to Taiwan to Japan, all are wary of Beijing's next move. Now pacifist Japan is taking a rare step to safeguard its sovereignty. Tokyo has publicly announced that it would be deploying missiles on a remote island that has left Beijing anxious. Japanese Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi says Tokyo plans to deploy surface-to-air missile to this westernmost island near Taiwan within the next 5 years. Japan's Yonaguni is a tiny and sparsely populated island. It is located 110 km off Taiwan's eastern coast. It is far closer to Taipei than to Tokyo and has long been seen as a possible front line in a conflict between China and Taiwan. Tokyo has discussed bolstering defense on the island, including carrying out a missile deployment since 2022. But this is the first time that a timeline has been set. Japan plans to deploy Chuzam medium-range missiles in the island by March 2031. The missile has a range of 50 km. This will allow Japanese military to shoot down hostile aircraft and ballistic missiles. This is one of the first major defense announcements to be made after Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi won a resounding re-election on February 8th. Boosting Japan's defense capabilities has been the top of her agenda at a time Japan faces increasing military aggression from China. Tensions have escalated between the countries after Takaichi suggested last year that Japan could become involved in a conflict between Taiwan and China. Experts warn that Japan's military move adds another layer to an already tense regional landscape. But Japanese government says the deployment is defensive, aimed at strengthening airspace security and deterrence. China has repeatedly criticized Japan's military expansion, calling it destabilizing. As military postures harden and strategic anxieties grow, the big question is whether this will strengthen deterrence or fuel fresh tensions. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Modi-Netanyahu, signing off. Thanks very much for watching.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Beyond the noise and rhetoric, no election, no ballot issue too small. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. More than just headlines. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power. Only on WION. World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION. World is One.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Prime Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Beyond the noise and rhetoric, no election, no ballot issue too small. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. More than just headlines. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION. World is One.